Hello and all, welcome to the Galaxy Man Show. So for my guest of this week on the Galaxy Man Show is this incredible actress known by the name of Lindsay Kendall Cox. So I'm about to add Lindsay in right now on the Galaxy Man Show to have a chat with Lindsay about all things acting. Please make Lindsay very welcomed on the show. And here is Lindsay. Hello, Lindsay. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Really good, thank you. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It is such an incredible pleasure having you on the show for today. For people that don't know who you are, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, and I started doing like show choir and like type of singing around when I was like 13. And ever since then, I did theater in high school and I did theater in middle school. And right now, I attend Virginia Commonwealth University for their theater program.
So we'll dive right into the questions now, Lindsay. So for my very first question, so what does like playing different characters mean to you when you're performing in theater, TV, or film? What does it mean to you?
Yeah, it's a different, I try to think of it as like a different experience because with my acting style, I like to think of it as like how would that character react to certain situations, right? And I also have heard that you want to bring a little bit of yourself to every role you do. So I also try to incorporate that whenever I am acting and performing. So I just try to incorporate what I can and to make the role mine, but also I guess like a different, oh gosh, the words are escaping me, but just like I guess that, yeah.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So if you could have any dream role, TV, film, or theater, like what would your dream role be and why?
Oh gosh, I really love right now I'm watching all of Friends
Okay.
and that just brings me so much joy. I really love Matthew Perry in it. And I think he has been so underrated. And of course, you know, with his passing and everything, it has been a really detrimental loss, I feel like, to television and just to the entertainment industry, because I feel like he was a hidden gem amongst the Friends cast. But if I could be in any show, I really like probably past, I would say Friends would be really cool because I think just just being a part of that original like six cast is just an experience I don't think any other television show has accomplished. Currently, it would probably be I really like dramas, and I would say I really like the current reboot of Dynasty, and
Yes.
I also really enjoy, of course, I feel like everyone enjoys Euphoria. I would love to be a part of Euphoria. I think that would be a really cool experience.
Awesome. So on to my very next question for you about TV or film. If you could be in any TV or film franchise, what would it be and why?
Oh gosh, any TV or film franchise? I'm gonna have to say a basic answer in Hunger Games.
Okay.
I really admire Jennifer Lawrence and what she has also brought to the table when it comes to acting, and I think the Hunger Games has just been a huge influence, especially like for me growing up because I grew up in like 2010s. Um, I, I just remember that being just a really cool franchise, and it has so many different pockets and dimensions to it. So probably Hunger Games.
So on to my very next question. So what made you decide as a person and especially as an actress to get into the whole acting in the first place?
It just it's like an innate feeling. It was something I just knew I had to do. I knew I this was the only outlet I could do for myself, and I knew I was not going to be happy doing anything else. And if I didn't give it 100% when auditioning for roles and for committing to all the rehearsals that I had to do when I did theater and learning the lines, and it's just something I feel like I have to do.
So on to my very next question. So what does acting mean to you? Like, especially as an actress, as a person, when you're performing, like, say, theater on stage, what does it mean to you as an actress?
It means to me, I would say, I feel like just exploring the human experience, as out there as that might sound, but I think just there's so many ways to tell so many different stories. And I think just bringing that, my own experience growing up to each role I play and to each role I do luckily get cast in.
So on to my very next question. So what does connection mean to you? Like, as an actress, connecting to people, what does connection mean to you?
Connection means to, on the most basic human level, is to have empathy and compassion. And I had some like personal things in my life, and I think, acting or not, I think it's really important to connect with each other as much as we can on this earth, to be empathetic and to make sure um, we bring as much as we can and connect to each other as people. If that hopefully answers that.
It does. Awesome. So on to my very next question. So if you could work with any top three actors in the acting industry, alive or dead, who would they be and why?
Marilyn Monroe, because I think there's a misconception first off about Marilyn, that she that who she played a lot of the time was who she was. And Marilyn Monroe was such an intelligent woman. She even though she was booking all of these consistent comedic roles, she was never taken seriously. So I would want to see what she was like more as a dramatic actor. I love Andrew Garfield. So I would love to work with Andrew Garfield so much. I think he is so talented, and he's just such a versatile actor, to be honest. He has played, of course, Spider-Man. He has played, he did musical, Tick Tick Boom.
I actually don't know if you know this, but Andrew Garfield also starred in a favorite show of mine called Doctor Who, in the 10th Doctor's era.
Oh my gosh, I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. He played a character called Frank. It was like in, if I can remember the episode, it was like based in New York. It was like a really good episode, like two-part episode. And he played a character called Frank. And it was like a really good, like, historical kind of episode, like that you would really like too. Like, and his performance, I think his performance, as you were saying, is just brilliant and just so inspiring to watch him on screen and everything. And Andrew Garfield brings every single performance that he gives to any single role that he gives. And Doctor Who was definitely one of them before he became Spider-Man and like so and so forth. But like, brilliant, brilliant, inspiring actor Andrew Garfield is. Just, yeah, I highly recommend. Definitely watch. I think it's season two that is in. Yeah, season two that is in.
Yeah, I think he has so much. He has brought so much to film and television, and he also, I know, does Broadway once in a while. Like he did
Yes.
Angels in America on Broadway, and some people may not know, but he was actually born in America, even though he moved to England, I think, when he was a year old or something. So technically, he's an American actor. But one more person, I would have. Oh gosh, I really enjoy what Margot Robbie has done for um, for just women in the entertainment industry and what she has brought. She has done such diverse roles. I think she's a really versatile actor as well. If you've seen her performance in I, Tonya, it is one of the best performances I feel like I've seen in television. In film. And also just what she brought to Barbie. I mean, I think everyone has seen Barbie at this rate, but just how much she did to that. And, she does producing as well. And she didn't even want to be a part, like casted in Barbie in the first place, to do it Barbie as well.
Pretty interesting how you mentioned Margot Robbie. She's actually currently so I'm in Australia, near the Gold Coast, Brisbane area, and Margot Robbie has actually just to come back to Gold Coast and pursue more acting in Gold Coast for this year. And she's currently in Gold Coast doing more filming and stuff. And yeah, it's very good to have Australian actors come back to Australia half the time. But yeah, I love how you mentioned those really great actors, by the way, like Andrew Garfield, one of them. Brilliant, great choice for Andrew Garfield, and especially Margot Robbie, as you said. Love the choices. On to my very next question. So you mentioned you're in theatre, right?
Yeah.
So with theatre, what has been your most favorite, iconic role that you've been in theatre?
Oh gosh. In 8th grade, I was Lena Lamont from Singing in the Rain.
Okay.
And she talks in, I don't know if you've seen Singing in the Rain, but
Yes.
Lena Lamont has her distinguished, very high-pitched, ear-ringing voice. And just doing that, I think it was like 8 shows I did that in 8th grade. And just there's so many mannerisms with Lena Lamont and just a distinct way she carries herself. So I would probably say Lena Lamont. And also it was very fun to get like a pie thrown in my face and having a quick change right after it. So it was the best.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So if you could give your younger self advice on looking on past experiences and roles that you have been in, if you could give your younger self advice, what would your advice be to your younger self? And if you could go to any decade in time, what decade would you want to go to and why?
These are such good questions. If I could give myself younger advice, it would be please believe in yourself. I think there's so much doubt that stems from a lot of just experiences from what people have said to me. I also own a business, so just being a woman in business, I have been told I'm too emotional. I can't control my emotions. My emotions are gonna be the reason I'm not alive anymore. So I would say, listen to yourself and please be more confident in yourself because you are way more capable than you think you are. And then, could you repeat the second part of the question?
Yeah. If you could go to any decade in time, what decade would you want to go to and why?
Oh gosh. I would probably say there's a lot of good movies that came out in the 80s or 90s. I would probably say working with directors that worked in the 80s and 90s because I feel like there was a good mix of, nowadays I feel like there's a lot more dramatic films, and I would want to be a versatile actor, so I would probably want to go in the 80s where there was the more comedic type of films, and the 90s where that was it was more like rom-coms and comedy films.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So if you could give upcoming actors advice on wanting to start out in the acting industry, what advice would you give to upcoming actors and why?
Go to classes. Go to acting classes. Learn what you can. Go where you can. Audition for whatever you can find that you can fit in. You never know if you're going to get a job just because you were the only person that submitted, or it was you and another person and you got a job. I can't tell you that there was jobs where there was maybe 5 or 8 submissions and I was one of them and I got picked because there was just so little. So you never know. And these are paying jobs too. So submit for anything, find anything you can, find acting websites that there's a couple websites in your in my area that are free to use, and Facebook groups too.
So on to my very next question. So what are like the positive and negative side into the acting industry, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an actress?
The negative side for sure is confidence. I think comparison is also a really huge thing. I think that's in a lot of industries, but especially with acting, because I'll notice that there's someone who's always booking theater roles, but then someone who never books film, or like vice versa. Like, I don't audition for theater roles, but I audition a lot for film. And then I will have someone ask me like, why are you getting all these film roles? I'm like, well, that's because I'm auditioning for only film. So I think also just kind of having your narrow path on what you for sure want to do also helps.
So on
I'm so sorry.
no,
I
all
hope I'm
good.
giving you like
You're giving me
good.
great. No, you give me the correct answers. What were you gonna say before?
Oh yeah, I was just saying, just getting on a path, and I guess just knowing what you would like to do at the like if you have a pathway, you feel like you lean more towards.
Love that. So on to my very next question and very last question for you, Lindsay. So like, what's next for you, project-wise? Any more theater productions that you would like to announce on the show?
What's next? To be honest, right now I don't have anything planned, but that doesn't mean tomorrow something can't come up. So you never know. I am looking forward to the future, and I am hopefully going to move to Los Angeles after I graduate and see where I go from there. So I'm open to anything. I'm open to anything.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Lindsay, for appearing on my show. It has been such an incredible pleasure having you on. Everyone, go show the love and support over to more inspiring actresses like Lindsay Kendall Cox. As I said, thank you so much for joining. Do you have any last final thoughts or anything that you'd like to share to people on the show?
Um, yeah, I would like to say that the future's unknown, and I don't think that's always a bad thing. So look forward to the future.